Alright, so how exactly do you drink these things again?
You just... Well, you're not dumping it in your coffee, right?
I'm drinking it straight, baby. That's how we do this.
Okay, well then I'm gonna pour mine in, but you would want to hold it at like a 45.
So this is called the Brumby Cowboy. It is a coffee, vanilla, cream liqueur little self-shooter thing. I'm not going to lie, the cream liqueur, vanilla cream side of it looks like something I saw in a porno movie. So, but, I'm going to swallow this regardless.
Yeah, see what they were talking about? This little thing right here? That's
Yes.
what you want to be vertical.
I see. You put the slit in your mouth and then enjoy it.
That's right. Get you all that Brumby.
The Brumby cream.
I'm just going to give this a little stir.
So, do you think the listeners are noticing a pattern yet of how our show tends to begin?
That's probably how most of their days begin, the bums.
If they're lucky, it begins that way, or at least ends that way.
Yeah, some of them got to get bailed out of jail first before they can go drink.
Hey.
Huh.
Our listenership in the pen is up 38% from episode 2 to 3.
I did see that. That's great news.
But anyway, welcome, friends.
Yes.
As we start episode number 4 of Shoedogg and Mike here doing the podcasting thing. What's good, Mike? How you doing? You are making a bitter beer face from that coffee liqueur jizz shot in your coffee.
Yeah, I think I could have skipped on the actual creamer.
Is it too sweet?
No, I just mean the creamer that's in there plus other creamer. I don't think that was a good idea.
All right, well, going down.
Bottoms up.
I'm doing mine straight. Bottoms up.
Bottoms
Cheers.
up. Good luck with that.
Tasty.
See?
See, but that's how they were meant to be enjoyed.
Yeah, no, you're right. When the other two of these, they were just down the hatch.
Down the hatch as we kick off this show. Now, here's my question.
Huh.
We've already been in trouble with YouTube once for music copyright infringement. At what point do we get in trouble from YouTube for content? Do we need to label this show some kind of R-rated, adult-only, NC-17, we're going to fucking curse, deal with it kind of warning label?
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
We're in a world right now where children on the YouTube are stumbling upon some truly obscene shit.
Like Momo?
That's exactly where you read my mind. I mean, you got Momo out there. There's that video that it's like some song that like says, slit your wrist sideways for attention, long ways to get the job done. I mean, what the fuck, bro? You've got young children in the house. I mean, how terrified are you that this is the kind of stuff that they're stumbling on?
Oh, we had to shut down YouTube because...
Did they get the Momo? Legit?
Well, no. It was just that the kids were already trying to find scary videos, and one of them heard about Momo in school, and then that led them all to go ahead and look for Momo on YouTube, which of course you're not going to find it. The whole thing's a big hoax. But, as with anything else, things that appear real are real in their consequences.
Meaning there aren't actual Momo videos?
No.
That's all a fucking...
The Momo, the face that you see, that's a statue that an artist made that's been around. And, like, people go to take pictures of it because it's, it's fucking freaky.
It is freaky.
But the whole Momo thing is just...
Alright, well, I'm pretty sure the video talking about how to slit your wrist properly is legit.
It doesn't matter, because kids with problems, the little shits, are gonna... If they want to make Momo real, they will. Right. I mean, I don't actually have to see a video of somebody teaching me how to eat dog shit off the ground.
To know it's a bad idea?
If I walk past dog shit and I want to eat it, I'm gonna do it. Whether or not it's like a brand name type of thing. Momo is like a, what do you call them? What do they used to call those? Momo's not an icon, not a. There's an old word for it. Some fucking old word.
I'm not sure. But if anything, it's kind of like a new version for even younger children of like Slender Man.
It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, that was a big thing a few years back. I guess it kind of still is.
Well, it is. That got franchised.
Yeah, they got a movie, right?
Yeah,
there's
that's what
a video
I mean.
game.
Next thing you know, Momo's going to be a fucking app to make your kids go to bed on time. If you don't get upstairs and brush your teeth, Momo's going to pop up.
Momo's going to slit daddy's wrists long ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, well, this show's off to a cheerful start.
What song were you listening to that they were talking about slitting their wrists?
No, it's just, I saw it as a related story to, like, the Momo thing about these subliminal messages that are slipped into the videos aimed at children, and they're being fed really, really, really bad information.
Well, if you remember back in the day when people used to give that kind of shit to, Marilyn Manson and Guar and stuff.
Yeah, right. They're to blame for all the wayward youth of America.
Oh yeah, they tried to hang Columbine on Marilyn Manson.
They did indeed.
And it's like, those dickheads, if they weren't wearing trench coats, they would have been wearing fucking something else.
It's the same
thing.
It's the same thing as blaming ICP when a juggalo does something asinine.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like they're scumbags with and without the paint.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, they're just drawn to that shit. I mean, and they take it so seriously, like Momo. It's like, the killer clowns told me to hack and slash people, so I did.
Yeah. Welcome to the 21st century. You won't see that anymore. They were like hip carnies. Like, remember?
Oh, yeah.
The FBI started using a terror label on them at one point.
Yeah, you heard stories about, like, businessmen, like, well-respected people in their 30s who had a fucking Hatchet Man tattoo from 1999, and all of a sudden they're a gangbanger.
Oh, yeah.
They're on the most wanted list.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I'm waiting for us to find out that, like, somebody in Trump's cabinet is a juggalo.
I am envisioning Mitch McConnell in clown paint with that big turkey gizzard hanging out down below there.
Yep.
Dude, I saw McConnell on TV earlier, and he was actually not wearing his button-up suit and tie. He had like a polo on.
Yeah.
And that fucking gobbler was out of control.
I bet it was.
When it's not contained up into a suit shirt.
Well, you heard how he rolls up to Senate hearings, right?
On a golf cart?
On
a Sibian scooter, perhaps?
With a gobbler full of tricks, trunk full of Faygo, and car full of fat chicks. Right?
Oh, boy.
They still sell Faygo, too. That's gang soda.
Yeah, gang soda. That's why the only store around here that I've ever seen it in was the Kmart in Easton.
Weiss has it.
Really?
Yeah, Weiss sells 2 liters of Faygo. Go get you some black cherry.
That's all right.
No.
And yet they don't stock A-Treat? There's no justice in the world. Or maybe they do have A-Treat.
Well, A-Treat's a reboot now, isn't it?
It is a reboot.
Yeah, so. Faygo's not. Faygo's still coming out of some juggalo's asshole and mixing with sugar and carbonated water.
So, well, speaking of reboots, holy shit, man. Are you ready for the biggest reboot of 2019?
I am.
You are?
I'm not. I don't know when it's starting, but I'm ready for it.
It's already started.
Has it?
It's being filmed as we speak. It might be near done as we speak.
Oh. For some reason I didn't know that. That sucks. Well, it's exciting though.
Why does it suck?
Well, because it means, I'm not paying attention. Normally I'd soak that shit up.
So now, I mean, I assume you know of which I'm referring to as...
You're talking about Jay and Silent Bob.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Come on now.
That is huge. Here we are making fun of juggalos, and then we're like, Derpy Derpy, the new Jay and Silent Bob movie.
Hey. Kevin Smith makes goddamn high culture comedy, Mike.
Yeah, on our next episode, we'll dive into the world of coding and why cool people just will never learn.
Is Jay and Silent Bob reboot cool because it's strictly nostalgia, or because we know and have faith in Kevin Smith to make a funny fucking movie?
Well, that and...
To me, it's both. I ride the fence on both equally, and they're both good.
The characters also always had... They had more depth than they were supposed to for the reputation.
Sure.
And now that they're old, it's going to be even more depth, and it's going to like put everybody in an awkward position where they're like, "Oh man, this guy can write a fucking movie."
Mike,
direct.
I'm somewhat going to call bullshit on that. I think you're overestimating the amount of depth we're going to get out of Snoochie Boochie.
No, come on. Remember how much of a tearjerker Clerks 2 was?
I mean, are we gonna find out that it follows Jay's real life history, and in the 10 years since the last movie, he's survived nearly dying from heroin? Is that going to be the tearjerker?
From when his grandparents emigrated here on the Dutch rudder.
The old Dutch rudder.
Well, Jay's going to be one of the ones that doesn't look old.
He looks exactly the same. Well, Kevin Smith looks old just because he's half the man he used to be. He ain't Silent Bob now. He's Skinny Bob now.
Yeah, exactly. They took all the fucking stuffing out of the pillowcase, and now you can see the wrinkles.
Seriously. But good for him, though, man. He got fucking healthy. You can't blame somebody for that.
It's coming full circle because, when you're young and vulgar and unkempt like that, You know, well, what was the dig? It's slacker comedy. It's, you know,
stoner comedy, this or that,
losers
vulgar.
that live in the basement watch that shit. Now it's like, well, he's as credible as anybody else that wears a tux.
Well, he's had a 20-year career now, 25-year career now. Clerks is 25 years old this year.
Did you ever see the original when it was like on its run, or was it an afterthought?
Nah, I saw all that stuff relatively early. That and Mallrats. You know, I was with it all the way along with the View Askew universe, and I mean, and obviously, you and I are part of the small cult who fully appreciated the Clerks animated.
Oh yeah,
which was kind of Family Guy before Family Guy for being just, you know, cutscenes, just irreverent type of animation.
That's true. I mean,
which is why it aired for exactly 2 episodes on ABC.
Yeah,
they couldn't handle that shit.
Well, ABC's owned by Disney.
It's amazing they ever even thought they would put that on the air in the first place.
They just did the same thing with that show Smilf.
I don't even know what that is.
Smilf was, I think it might have been a pay channel show, like Showtime or something.
Smelly Mother I'd Like to Fuck?
Single Mother I'd Like to Fuck.
Ah.
It was about a single mother who was, you know, still trying to get fucked. And so, they, you know why they shut it down?
I find the S unnecessary.
You know why they shut it down, though? Well, the S isn't unnecessary. I mean, there's not single moms that you'd like to fuck. But anyway, the chick who was, I think, the star and also maybe executive producer or something, she ended up having some kind of Me Too movement shit where apparently she wasn't following like industry standards, like open set during a sex scene and some other, like she apparently, somebody said she segregated her writing staff by race and a bunch of other weird stuff. So ultimately though, ABC is somehow in there, and because they're family friendly, they fucking gave her the axe. I don't even think they made it into a full season. Everything's gotta be
Mickey worthy.
Well, it's all, you know, it's all Me Too now. You can't even look at somebody sideways or they're gonna start tweeting that you raped them.
Well, that might be the end of reproduction as we know it, since you're not allowed to ask a pretty girl out on a date anymore.
You know, the millennials are having less babies, which is probably a good thing, because I grew up with them and they're shit.
Yeah, well, in a lot of cases, it's an intelligent financial decision. Don't worry, though. The rednecks in the trailer park having 5 babies while on food stamps are more than keeping the average going. Yeah. Which means, again, idiocracy is coming fucking true, Mike.
Oh, my God.
Mike Judge is a philosopher, a visionary. He's a prophet almost. He prophesies where we would be. Yeah. Fire. I mean, the fucking president, what's his name in Idiocracy, is Trump.
Yeah.
You expect Trump to start selling us on the good of electrolytes any minute now.
Well, or who was that guy that wrote the books that got into a lot of trouble? He's in jail now. Kevin Trudeau.
Okay.
You ever hear of Kevin Trudeau?
Unless he's related to the Canadian Prime Minister family, no, I don't.
I believe he is Canadian. I don't think he's related, though.
No, or some kind of French.
Well, so anyway, the only reason I heard about him was because of my dad. My dad read some of Kevin, and it was like all this how to live forever type shit. And it wasn't like content related or anything. I think he was like tax cheat or something.
Now, that's what gets a lot of people in trouble. We know tax evaders.
Well, unless you're Paul Manafort.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Then you get a lighter sentence than somebody who fucking had a dime bag of weed.
I don't care what kind of sentence these boys are getting. They're spilling the beans on the orange twat waffle, so it's okay.
We think so. We definitely think so. I wouldn't though. I wouldn't. I was so much more excited about it like 3 months ago. Now I'm like, oh man. It's like when you start watching that movie that everybody was telling you is awesome, and you get like 20 minutes into it, and you're just kind of like, I don't think this is going to go very well.
You mean like Bird Box?
I didn't watch it.
Me neither. I'm just assuming.
Yeah, something like that or something like...
I don't intend to either.
Yeah, there's a lot of overrated shit. So this whole thing has been overrated. And just Paul Manafort just getting his dick all wet. I mean, he's going to be... That's the beginning of it for me. Now everything that happens is going to be less and less satisfying and impressive. Until we get to the end, and then, I have a feeling it's going to be business as usual. It just shows you how fucking rich people can basically do whatever they want.
Well, yeah. I didn't know that was a shocking revelation.
Poor Kevin Smith. We stepped all over his awesome hype train.
You really did, because I wanted to mention the other project he has going on.
He has another one?
Not only the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, he's fucking writing the part of this Howard the Duck animated series that's on the way.
That's exciting.
The ridiculousness that is the return of Howard the Duck.
We know Howard the Duck is technically part of Marvel too.
Yeah, that was a comic.
He was in the I think the end credits of Infinity War.
That's right. That did happen. Holy fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That was a thing.
That was pretty epic for me, because as a kid, when we'd get free HBO weekends...
So Howard the Duck survived Thanos.
Dude, of course he did. Him and the raccoon.
I can't wait for the next one. I gotta say, that revived my interest in the Avengers franchise. I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought it'd be overstuffed with way too many characters, which was true, but it was still really damn impressive, and the ending definitely... You couldn't be more psyched with a fucking cliffhanger than that.
Well, I'd probably honestly I'd get more jacked up about the Jay and Silent Bob reboot than I will for Endgame.
They're considering that Jay and Bob is already filming, and by this point probably virtually done. I mean, shit, that'll probably come out this year.
I hope so.
It ain't like the old days where it would be like 3 years after they shot a movie it would finally make its way out. Things happen a little quicker now.
Yeah, well, and they have to. We're consumers.
Yep, well. And I'm sure he's doing it on a reasonably tight budget, so, a couple weeks shoots probably most of what they'll do.
I wouldn't imagine if we had a budget.
What would we spend it on? More shots?
I guess. I mean, more shots, but no, but just like, that whole shoestring thing.
We could get fluffers?
We could get fluffers.
How much of a budget does a podcast truly need?
Listen, we don't need a budget for a fluffer. We could walk downtown over here.
And get a gummin'?
And grab a fluffer from, in front of the thrift store or whatever. There's a couple. I gave an old lady a ride. Did I tell you about that? I gave an old lady, she was hitchhiking, and she was holding up a little notebook, and on the paper it said, to wherever she wanted to go.
Okay.
I won't divulge. And I'm thinking, oh, this poor lady, she's out here all bundled up, wearing a big old coat and hat and mittens and everything. She's carrying all this shit on her back. She looks like she's 80. And she doesn't have, anywhere to go. So I gave her a ride.
Did she obey the rules of the road?
I tried to let her.
You tried to let her, so she was down.
Yeah, she told me to put it away, though. She's very jaded. And so, anyway, I ended up just, dropping her off and wishing her good luck. Wouldn't you fucking know it? 2 weeks ago, I go into the coffee shop to get a sandwich.
Uh-oh.
And she's sitting in there on a laptop.
Yeah.
Of hers.
So your point being, because she owns a laptop, she should be able to own a car?
No.
She never pretended she was homeless and destitute. She didn't ask you for a handout. She just needed a ride somewhere.
How about a fucking pair of shoes?
Well,
she had the whole presentation going.
Well, all the bums in New York have iPhones. That's just it's the number one necessity of the world.
All the bums in New York.
I guarantee you, there's homeless people with smartphones because people's priorities are apparently they'd rather have a fucking iPhone than a roof over their head.
Who was that got the
fucking jack-offs?
Yeah, but who was it? The mayor or somebody? Who was it that used to? Was it Giuliani? Who took credit for getting all the bums off the street?
Oh, Giuliani, yeah, he cleaned up Times Square and got all the fucking peep shows out of town. And,
yeah, it no longer smells like urine down here.
I haven't seen Giuliani on TV lately. Apparently, Donnie has decided that he might have been doing a little more harm than good.
Dance, little puppet.
Every time he showed up on TV, he'd incriminate Trump a little bit further.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what? Here's what I think. You know what is almost as criminal? As anything Donald Trump has done, anything money-wise, any taxes he's cheated on, anything Paul Manafort, Michael Cohen, any of these fucking douchebags have gone. Oh, by the way, possibly my favorite moment of the Michael Cohen testimony, when he lists the names of the 3 people that were like close accomplices or whatever, and the one guy's name is Michael Calamari. Have you ever heard a bigger fucking Goomba, goon, gangsta name? I got a guy, Michael Calamari. He fixes things. You know what I mean?
It definitely sounds like an alias.
Call up the Calamari. Yeah, exactly. Michael Calamari. I mean, that's like a bad extra in fucking Goodfellas.
I thought calamari was deep fried squid.
And it is
octopus.
No, it's squid. It was same difference, but yeah. Which oddly enough, I like, even though you shouldn't think about what it is.
I always thought that they were like lizards and they could regenerate, and if I ate squid, it would like grow into a squid in my stomach. That was when I was a kid. I don't think that now. But you know, like starfish and iguanas and shit, they can regenerate.
That
Did I just ruin your dinner? Cancel that quadruple order of calamari.
No, that's just like hilarious to like think as a child that was a legitimate fear of yours, that your food was going to regrow and regenerate and devour you from the inside like the fucking Alien.
Well, I was going to say, my parents...
Did you see Alien as a young child?
My parents let me watch Alien, and also I had the whole thing of, you know, my parents would eat some weird shit sometimes. I remember the time my dad ate a shark steak for dinner. Like shark meat.
Yeah, that's popular.
Yeah, but for him, even he was like, "This is fucking gross," and he never says that about any food.
Yeah, I don't see it as being appealing. I don't think I'd want to try it, to be honest with you.
They don't sell shark steak at Omaha, so it can't be legit. I'm sorry.
Omaha doesn't do fish products.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
do they?
They got seafood in there.
Oh, okay.
They got desserts too. Fucking molten lava cakes, caramel apple stuff. Oh yeah. My wife was looking that up and down today. All
right, you want to go through more of the details of that special offer so we can get that Omaha Steak sponsorship fucking rolling here?
Yeah, they gave me a magnet to hang on my fridge that has coupons on it.
Here's my favorite part of Omaha Steaks, because I think you got some of it when we were much younger, was that it would come in that big styrofoam case that actually had the fucking dry ice in it yet.
Yeah.
That was
the big box with the... I was actually telling...
foot thick insulated foam.
I was telling the lady at the store about that, because I was like, oh, you guys just have a bunch of freezers here. You don't have any dry ice, do you? She's like, no. But my son learned all about not touching it.
He learned the hard way, I guess.
Well, her son's like a kid. And I'm like, man, what a fucking idiot. Who touches dry ice? And then I'm thinking, like, wait a minute. Wasn't it just a few years ago that I made a dry ice bomb out back?
That's exactly right. We put it in the fucking bottles and they blew them up.
I almost blew my hand off with the damn putting the lid on.
Well, you know. The important thing was, last I checked, you still have all 10 fingers.
Yeah, and toes.
You got that weird one that's only half as long as the others.
What one?
But they're all there.
Oh, yeah.
You're just used to it. You don't notice it like the rest of us.
Well, that's a good nose picker. It doesn't, you know.
I call this one stubby.
Ew.
So, alright, so anyway, what I was aiming to get at there when talking about criminal offenses.
Please do go on.
I think a criminal offense is a $330 million baseball contract.
Oh.
I love the Philadelphia Phillies. And, of course, it's exciting that my team has signed the hottest free agent in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. For $330 million, I will stand at home plate and I will just throw myself in front of every pitch that is thrown my way.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just get beamed 4 times a game for that kind of fucking money.
Yep.
Who needs home runs?
Well,
I'll be the equivalent of Homer Simpson when he boxed. I'll just get fucking hit by pitches.
You know... For them, like, my favorite thing about athletes that make a shit ton of money has always been they either go the low road and say, you know, you're just hating, whatever, or they go the ones that I love are the ones that go the high road and they say shit like, well, I'm risking my life every time I'm out there. It's like, really? Are you really risking your life? And if you're making $330 million, you damn should.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I don't even think we threw the name out there. I'm sure there's some people who don't know what the fuck baseball is, hardly. We're talking about Bryce Harper, who came from the Nationals, from Washington.
Yes.
You know, big home run jacker. Definitely the kind of centerpiece the Phillies might, be able to help build around, because they've got a growing nucleus of some young players. So don't get me wrong. It could be. But more so than the simple fact that it's obscene for him, $330 million over 13 years. So, $28 million a year, whatever it is. While the individual yearly number is insane, I want to know, and it's been a while now, but, which pro sports team, contracts used to run about a maximum of about 5 years. Okay. Because you are committing in the athletic performance, which, as much as you and I hate to say it, in the grand scheme of things, we're well past our athletic fucking prime already.
No, not me. I'm just getting warmed up.
I mean, compared to pro athletes.
Not sure.
We're both past the average age of a pro athlete. So you're talking about signing a player until he's like 39 years old. What happens when he pulls some fucking ligaments in his knee in the fourth season and doesn't play for a year and a half? And then he's never the same player. Like, I just don't see how any team would commit over that long time of a player. I mean, I think the longest contract up till now is maybe 10 years, and that's still fucking obscene. I know that with free agency, these teams are afraid to let them go, so they feel like, we gotta fucking tie you up for your career, buddy. But,
you're all randy today.
Shit.
You're all riled up over this Bryce Harper business.
Well, yeah, because now the fucking price of Phillies tickets are probably going to go up $20 a piece, and it's going to be $93 for a fucking beer and $102 to park.
Hey, listen,
to pay this fucking contract off.
Who wants to go to that shit dump stadium anyway? And get fucking
Wait, what?
Threatened with violence and Philly sucks. I'm never going to another sporting event there.
To call Citizens Bank Park a shit dump stadium, though, you've clearly never been there. Now, you can hate on Philadelphia.
Oh,
fans,
I'm sorry.
But that's Eagles fans.
What I meant to say was,
Citizens Bank Park's a nice ballpark.
Go to that stadium full of shit dump people with great amenities.
There you go.
You weren't there when we went to the Eagles game.
Well, the Eagles don't play at fucking Citizens Bank Park. That's my point. You're talking about Lincoln Financial Field.
Fine, but the game I went to was like the week Lincoln Financial opened or something. Okay. And that was a nice stadium too, but look at all the dickheads that showed up there.
Well, that's fine. The Vet was a shit dump stadium.
They saw me...
That's been replaced 15 years ago already.
They saw me rooting for the other team, and all of a sudden it was like I was going to get gang raped or something. They're shaking my car in the parking lot, throwing shit at me.
That's because you were dumb enough to wear a Niners jersey there.
Oh,
if you didn't know you were going to rile up the people that booed and threw ice balls at Santa Claus.
Well, how would you feel if every time you went into some rednecky fucking part of this area wearing a Bernie Sanders shirt or having a Bernie Sanders bumper sticker on your car, a bunch of fucking big dumb mouth-breathing rednecks just started beating the shit out of you because they saw your Bernie Sanders? It's still the same idea. People overreacting to somebody else being on the other team.
Well, I believe you're overreacting in making it sound as though you were virtually physically assaulted.
I was. The only reason I didn't get my ass kicked was because I had Sapone with me.
Oh,
they weren't going to fuck with that big boy.
I would hope that was not the case, but then you ran into some dickheads. The dickheads everywhere, yo.
Little did they know he's a Redskins fan. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, he'd be like, you want to fight about it?
Yeah. Exactly. That's what was going to happen, too. And then the line out of the parking lot, forget about it.
Oh, well, yeah, that's notorious in Philly. You can't fucking leave that place. The outflow is atrocious.
It's very atrocious.
Because half the people that leave have to pull that weird U-ey to get back onto 95, and that just ties up that one intersection for a fucking hour.
You're exactly right.
It's the risk we take.
You know what I saw on the fire department's electronic sign today? Saturday, April 7th. Guns and Cash Bingo. Man, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know, I'm sorry I can't make it,
You can win a gun at the bingo game?
Guns and Cash Bingo. Woo!
Well, remember, we used to have the Furniture and Firearms Depot down the road.
Cheese and crackers.
Who put those two businesses together? Seriously.
There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, are you talking about...
the place that was in the Mount Bethel Plaza.
Where the hardware store is now?
Exactly.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I never went in.
Neither did I. I didn't need to. I think their sign said it all.
Well, you gotta have a shotgun to polish while you're sitting in your lazy boy yelling at your wife,
I guess.
Didn't you just mop these floors yesterday, Lurley? They look fucking disgusting. Oh, did I tell you about that gun? By the way, speaking of guns and cash. Now I'm going to totally back up over myself. Because I'm trying to make everybody around here sound like dumb rednecks with guns.
I was going to say, is this your sad attempt to actually appeal to the MAGAs? We're going to talk about guns in a positive way.
No, I'm just going to show you. No, I'm just going to show you something cool that's historical. That, you know, somebody who's too far in the other direction. Somebody that's like, you know, if we're going to give weapons to anybody, we should give them to the animals because we treat the animals wrong. I'm not one of those.
Well, maybe we should have given guns to the Indians and seen how shit worked out. Maybe we'd be the ones with the casinos now.
No, we gave we gave them guns. You know, we gave them the bullets anyway. Wounded Knee and all that.
Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition.
Hang on, I do have this picture, I swear. So I wanted to show you this, you know, not as like really important thing, but just so cool. This gun right here, I took 3 pictures of it, is from, this is legitimately Wild West shit.
Alright.
Check it out. I don't want to quote the year, but I think like 1860, something like that, Civil War era. Right? That's the side.
An old 6-shooter.
Now, there's the serial number, which someone who's like a gun nut could probably trace that back to the manufacturing date, I'm sure.
Huh.
And then there's the, look at the wear on it and shit.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's legit like a 175-year-old gun.
Nice.
Released 150.
Question is, would it still fire?
Yeah, I'm quite sure.
Yeah?
The owner had it, you know, he has ammunition for the thing. But
Jeez.
you know, why does it have to be all or nothing? Like, can't I appreciate guns as, like, craftsmanship, but not necessarily feel like I gotta go walk around town with one on my hip?
Sure.
Threatening people?
Yeah, thank God. I mean,
That's what I hate about these fucking open carry states. Like, where people feel like, oh, just to send a message, they're gonna go into a crowded public area with a rifle on their back. Just to say, because I can.
As I can.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'm sure you only have everybody's best interest in mind, you fucking mouth-breathing twat.
Yeah, you're just making everyone feel fucking uncomfortable and trying to make you feel like your little 3-inch schlanger is 4 inches.
It's just corny, too. It's like, what else do you put fucking... You put
America.
melted cheese on everything, man.
I put melted cheese on everything. What the fuck are you trying to... connection are you trying to
I always
make?
knew you had it in you. You're a secret,
I mean, at least I don't throw cheese at fucking babies.
It's gateway cheese. Next thing you know, you'll be going to gun shows. Oh, by the way, speaking of putting cheese on everything, did I tell you what we found for sale?
Please tell me a 50-pound block of Gouda.
Actually better.
Nothing is better.
No, that's not true.
Nothing is better than cheddar.
I don't know. Gouda's a pretty specific thing to like that much, isn't it? 50 pounds?
Yeah, Gouda's only good in very small bites.
Maybe ched.
Or some
I get down with 50 pounds of cheddar. Oh, yeah. Some smoked mozzarella. Hang on. So this is, I'm guessing, and you would know, probably, a commercial item, meaning for industrial purposes. But for $304, the Paragon Pro Deluxe 2028 pump warmer for professional concessionaires. But you can just straight up get it off Amazon. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know you want one.
For only $300, fresh nachos at will.
Dude, could you imagine just having that thing in your kitchen and just like, oh, man, I don't want to have another sandwich. Wait a minute, you know?
Yeah,
it
so
just
you
makes
just
everything
pump it
better.
under. You got a both dish of fucking ice cream.
I overcooked this rice. It tastes too crunchy, you know? Just
putting it on your cereal.
get some big old fucking globs of cheese on
I
everything.
think for $300, I'll just melt some Ches Whiz in the micro.
Yeah, but it's all food grade, stainless steel and everything. I mean, it wouldn't be all ghetto like one of those gas station cheese pumps. That like you push the button too hard and it breaks. Then you have to ask them to change the bag.
The key to that is the same as the key to the ketchup dispensers at my job in the cafeteria.
Are those the same ketchup dispensers they have at the Trump golf resorts?
Probably.
Did you see those?
No.
Oh.
But the key is you always want to give it at least 2 pumps before you actually eat what comes out of it.
No, that's what she said.
Exactly. You You gotta let that crusty cheese get knocked off the tip first before you swallow the rest.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that worked on every level.
I was on board with you until you said crusty.
Well, if you got that 7-Eleven Ches pump, I mean, that thing probably only gets used every 3 days, so you know it's like getting gelatinous there at the end and all crusted up and hard. You probably have to pop the seal on it.
Oh, yeah. When you see brown around the rim or whatever, that's when you know that shit's abused.
Speaking of pumping.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's about time to pump out some plugs. Because admittedly, if you're listening to this, you know for a fact that Shoedogg and Mike are on YouTube, Facebook, SoundCloud, every other place. Well, not every other place.
Don't forget Twitter.
Just those places. And Twitter. So basically, you search Shoedogg and Mike in your media of choice and you will find this nonsense. But if you want to email us direct, which I was going through a couple of these earlier, and I mean, I debated reading them out loud, but I think maybe we'll save that for next episode.
Okay, are they that hot? They need their own spotlight.
Let's just say several of them deserve a thoughtful fucking rebuttal.
Are you being stalked?
I wish.
Oh, okay.
So, Shoedogg and Mike on all those platforms, Twitter especially, but most importantly, if you want to email us, the specific Gmail is Shoedogg and Mike, Shoedogg with 2 G's, and Mike podcast at gmail.com.
That's a long fucking address.
That is long. Just fucking tweet it to us. I mean,
Twitter doesn't feel the need to censor us or pull our page down or anything.
Yeah.
Unlike some other well-known data leaking social network that kicked me off twice for not having a profile picture, which was a bunch of horse shit.
Because they thought you were trying to help Comrade Trump get reelected. They thought you were a fucking Russian MAGA bot.
No, they thought that some big money spam firm had decided for whatever reason to invest in a little known podcast and that they were going to spam that to everybody.
Yeah, well, for $100, if they want to spam us to everybody, I'm willing to.
Oh, fuck it! You know what I do when I'm okay? So, breaking the fourth wall here. When I'm on our Twitter account, which I manage, anytime. So there's a bunch of other cool podcasts out there, independent type thing they'll like retweet anybody who says they're looking for podcast recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
So, quick shout out to Body Count Pod and to Brooklyn Podcasting Studios and a couple others who do that all the time. Dumb and Busted is another one. Good shit.
Dumb is where our show belongs.
Exactly. It's peas and carrots right there. But they will post those, and then I just go down the list, one by one. I tweet to them, each one of them individually.
Yep,
yeah, you're looking for the, I don't care. I'll drive around and staple shit to the phone poles.
Hey man, you gotta spread the word.
Who cares about?
Well, actually, you know how you spread the word?
Huh.
If you're hearing us say this right now, help spread the word, man. If you enjoy hanging out with us for an hour and think that you get some laughs out of the endeavor, pass it on to your friends. Share it on the Facebook. Tell your Aunt Betty that this might make you laugh your dentures out.
Hell, just wipe yourself off and put some pants on and go outside and tell the neighbors.
Just set up some kind of a computer program that has it playing on repeat in your room 24 hours a day. We don't care.
We should make little,
It's all about hits, baby.
Yeah, exactly. We should make little...
and making you laugh.
Pamphlets that we can, just print stacks of them and just, go out into public and fucking,
Well, we can make a little business card and just, every place people leave business cards, just throw them around.
No. Just go up to, crowded areas and, knock shit over and make it look like you're falling on accident and just drop them everywhere and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I got a better idea. How about you and I run shirtless onto the field at some sporting event with a huge banner that says, listen to Shoedogg and Mike on the interweb.
I was thinking we could buy, a sky...
I'll go full-blown naked if you think it'll be more effective.
Hey, we know you're not shy. That's what we'll do. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, the first 10 people to subscribe to the YouTube channel will be contacted by us personally and given a top secret link where you can see a video of Shoedogg disrobing himself in a hotel room.
Odds are good if they've already searched enough to find our show. They've already found that.
I don't think they have.
It's one of my YouTube classics.
There's no correlation.
That video's made it to Australia.
Yeah, but that was also before hashtagging and everything else, so it's just kind of sitting there. We need to make it a big thing again.
I'm not trying to get hashtag hairy ginger chubby trending.
Put a little Rick Rude's entrance music under that, and it'll be coming overnight. See.
All right, well.
Oh my God.
Under that particular premise, we might have something.
There's something you want to put some pump cheese on right there. Just smear it all over yourself. Do you remember, though? We were like black sheep in that hotel. Because we had... Didn't they bring us... didn't we use a bellhop cart for like liquor and pizza?
Maybe.
Don't you remember? We had a bunch of shit delivered.
We did order a giant amount of shit.
We used the bellhop cart to push it all to the room, and we're all wearing sweatpants and fucking looking all scraggly.
It's just, hey, dude, that hotel was filled with wrestling fans that weekend for WrestleMania.
Of course it was.
Because there ain't no other goddamn reason to visit Detroit.
Well, yeah, and that was just it.
And how many hours were we in Detroit outside of the amount of time physically mandated to be there for WrestleMania?
We were running down the street.
We were in and out
to get into a cab because we knew that some crackhead was going to know that our chairs were worth money and like hold us up for.
You were offered hundreds of dollars for your Donald Trump WrestleMania chair.
I know, and I'm like, oh, I'm above that. And now here I am trying to sell it on Let Go.
Speaking of some wrestling memorabilia, and people who I'm pretty sure enjoy the pumps. The pump cheese.
Oh, yeah.
I bet our dearly beloved and recently passed away King Kong Bundy thoroughly enjoyed eating the pump cheese in his day.
Dude, I'll just say one thing. My little kid brain, and it wasn't like I saw it at the time, but I was still young. I'll never forget WrestleMania 2, him and Hogan in the blue steel cage. That shit was legitimate.
Well, I was shocked to see the amount of mainstream press his death got, and that was usually the headline. You know, WrestleMania 2 main eventer. You know, I mean that was, a big deal against Hogan back in those days.
Well, he was the heel of the '80s.
Sure.
Do you? You might also remember. Wasn't there?
And then he had a nice little run in the '90s when we was watching.
Yeah, he left and came back, right?
He was one of the Undertaker's WrestleMania victims. Which WrestleMania was that at?
7?
11.
11? He made it all the way up to 11?
Well, 7 was his very first one. Well, that's what I said. He came back there in that mid-90s period.
Yeah.
But no, my favorite King Kong Bundy WrestleMania memory, anyway, is WrestleMania 3. Because it was him and a couple midgets versus Hillbilly Jim and a couple of midgets. But more importantly than that was one of the 2 WrestleMania matches that featured fucking Bob Uecker on the commentary.
Awesome.
And Bob Uecker is probably the best WrestleMania celebrity I think that there pretty much ever was.
Can I tell my King Kong Bundy story now?
Well, we're getting there. Well, we're setting up King Kong Bundy.
I'm so excited.
You have to understand that a lot of people who are listening who
saw him on Married with Children and figured he was like an actor playing a wrestler.
Saw him on Married with Children. I apologize for that little bit of hiss there for a minute, but I jiggled the wire and it stopped happening.
He just ate jalapenos yesterday.
But yes, he was on Married with Children, and also a fact that I've read is being talked about. His name was indeed where the writers got the Bundys from. The Bundys are named after King Kong Bundy.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then, he was on the show.
Where else would you come up with Bundy?
The guy definitely, had, a pretty diverse, somewhat career there. So, yes, we both have a King Kong Bundy story. Yours first.
Sure. So, when I used to go to the beach with my dad every summer, particularly when I was a teenager, they would have a little indie fed would come into Wildwood, usually in August sometime, and at the old convention center that's not there anymore, they would have, on a Saturday night, usually, a show, and it was like, not ever a big, you'd pay $20 for a front row seat, and it wouldn't be anything spectacular, but, as a kid, it was pretty cool to fucking be in the front row, and get to touch the ring and all that stuff. And so, anyway, one year they tried to make it a little more rad, and they had some, some wrestlers from the past or whatever come out, and even if they weren't going to get in the ring, they would hype up the show. They're sitting out on the boardwalk signing autographs. And this was back before people had smartphones, so you would pay for like a glossy 8x10 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And they'd sign it with the marker.
Maybe you get your Polaroid taken.
Full disclosure, this was also when I thought I was cool, touting my backyard wrestling gimmick.
Oh, dear.
So I met King Kong Bundy that day. He was cool, laid-back dude, real nice. I asked him to sign my 8x10 of him dropping the elbow on Hogan.
Nice.
Actually. And he's signing it, and he asks who I want him to make it out to. And at the time, my backyard wrestling moniker was Fatal. And I said, fill it out to Fatal. And he's like, he just kind of shook it off like, what the fuck ever. And he signed it, and he's like, there you go, kid. And I'm like, thank you so much. Like, that was the first big star that I ever met in person. And then, so the show was great. I don't think he wrestled. I think he was just there to get money from selling autographs.
Were there other names on the card?
The Wall.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the former WCW.
I don't know if that was the same year, but anyway,
Wall.
It was in that time where, WCW guys could still indie out for big paydays.
They somewhat mattered. Yeah, a little name value.
Yeah, now it wouldn't matter. But so anyway, we get home from vacation, and I think I'm gonna really impress my brother by showing him my autographed picture of King Kong Bundy that he made out to my backyard wrestling gimmick. And he holds it in his hand for like half the amount of time he was looking at it was to figure out who King Kong Bundy was. And then the other half of the time, he's like really zooming in and squinting, and he goes, "Who's Fat Al?" Just took the fucking air right out of my balloon.
Fat Al.
That was great.
It's Weird Al's brother without as good of metabolism.
I wish I still had that picture so I could show it to you. Who's Fat Al?
I've got my picture with King Kong Bundy from a few summers ago.
Yeah.
At the we drove out to some fucking Hyundai dealership in bumfuck New Jersey for 80s wrestling night. Free autographs, King Kong Bundy and Marty Jannetty and.
Was that when you guys had your Lady in the Tramp moment with the ring baloney?
And Snuka, Nikolai Volkov, a Doink. Ironically enough, about 3 weeks after Matt Bourne, the original and real Doink, died, there was still a fool out there playing Doink. I guess that was everybody. But Jimmy Snuka, before he died, and many years after he killed that girl, but before he got
murderer,
before the case got reopened.
Sorry, I had something stuck in my
gums
here.
That very much came the fuck out of nowhere. It's just like a 25-year-old cold case reopened. This is pretty amazing.
Back to King Kong Bundy.
Hold on. Anyway, so I met Bundy at this thing, and I don't remember exactly what, but he was funny as fuck. Mm-hmm. And I guess at this time he was doing stand-up comedy.
Well, you gotta have a good sense of humor if you're hanging out with a murderer.
And signing autographs for Fat Al all day long.
Yeah. Whatever, Fat Al. Take your picture.
So I met him there, but I also saw him wrestle. Mm-hmm. In 1999 at the Wind Gap High School. No, 2000. Spring of 2000.
Yeah.
Because King Kong Bundy was one of the main draws. But an even bigger main draw, and I don't think you've even heard this story, was, cue the music, the Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young.
Ugh.
So I met Moolah and Mae, I met Bundy, and the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, was there. Needless to say, his name value means nothing in Pennsylvania. We're not in fucking North Carolina. So anyway, during the event, our area was under a tornado warning, and a fucking tornado blew through Wind Gap that night, and the power went out. And they're in the middle of wrestling, and all of a sudden the lights go out, and they're only operating under the fucking auxiliary light. One light on top of in the whole gym lighting it up.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of neat. That's about the extent of it. There wasn't any they didn't fuck anything up because it was dark or anything, but it happened.
Sure.
And Bundy wrestled that night, and so yeah, I mean, quite the legend in wrestling, man. King Kong Bundy, 4 WrestleMania appearances. That's a pretty damn good run, especially back in the day. Whereas we've talked about lately that everybody in WWE hadn't been there for 10, 11, 12, 15 years. People only stayed a couple years.
Yep.
So to have like a 5-year run, seemed like you were around forever back in those days.
It meant more.
Oh yeah.
It definitely meant more. Now, they're at the point doing this worked shoot shit where they're willing to try and make somebody not renewing their contract look like a shoot because that's somehow so significant.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the 90s, it would have been like they couldn't get away with that because it's like, well, you're waiting for him to show up on Nitro the next week or whatever. And then it wouldn't happen, and it would piss people off.
Yeah, nobody went unsigned back in those days.
Yeah, now it's like, oh, you're not renewing your contract? What, are you going to open a shoe store?
Yeah, go have fun at it. Well, they got AEW, which, is becoming an option, but how long will it be an option?
It's a myth.
We wish them luck. They've announced a second show now for July down in Florida.
Oh, okay.
So they've now got their second show booked. So, I mean, it's going to be a thing, but still hasn't officially got off the ground. So until then, it is all just smoke and mirrors.
Well,
until they truly light the fire.
Yeah, don't hold your breath with rich Arab guys in pro wrestling shows because
it worked out pretty good in Saudi Arabia.
Did it? Is that why they're never going back?
That's because the Saudi Arabia is a fucking murderistic, backwards 14th century country.
Hey, exactly.
But they're not afraid to...
14th century? You're giving them a lot of credit.
But they're certainly not afraid to blow their financial goo all over the wrestling.
Oh, so. Yeah. Oil, blood money, goo.
Hey, they got Shawn out of retirement.
Some things you just don't want to see. I mean, that was weird. It was weird watching bald Shawn Michaels.
Well, the bald was the hardest part of it. I mean, he didn't do bad, but the bald is tough.
No, he looked like a guy who had very comfortably settled into retirement and was only doing this because it was like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Going through the motions for $5 million.
Probably a lot more than that, dude. They spent, what? They spent $300 and something million on the one show? I mean, how much do you think of that went to the stage production?
Yeah, and how much of that do you think went to Vince and the stockbrokers? What do you think the wrestlers got 80% of that? They probably got about... but they got huge paydays.
No, but a couple of guys got huge paydays. I mean, did Big E make as much as Hunter Hearst Helmsley? No, he didn't.
No, but I still would say $5 million for any of them is just a wee bit high.
Hey, good on you for not calling me out on saying Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
It's funny because I did in my head.
That's like when...
I was like thinking, Triple H!
Yeah, that's like when an older person in your family, like, asks you if you get...
Still says WWF?
No, they ask you if you can do the texts or something like that, you know?
The texts.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than when we were a kid and our buddy's one friend thought we were getting in trouble and she goes, "Are you smoking the pot?" And that was many years before Tool had a hit song of that name. Who are you to point your finger?
Wow, that didn't sound like Tool at all.
It wasn't trying to sound that much like Tool. At least I remembered that many of the words.
Yeah, now we're going to get our dicks slapped by Tool for your bad fucking karaoke version. Well, if you didn't think playing AC/DC was bad enough...
You must have been so high.
Yeah, there you go. You sounded like Crash Test Dummies on that one. That was way better.
Hold on, let's see who else can
or if not Crash Test Dummies, like a drunk singer from the B-52s. You must have been so high.
I was sounding like Frank Zappa.
Whatever. Well, that's a compliment.
No, that is a compliment. Yeah, no, that would have worked. All right, so the option is in your hands right now, Mike.
Okay.
I can either continue to sing cover songs in the style of Fred Schneider of the B-52s. No, you want to maybe wrap up this party?
I thought there might be a second option in there, but it doesn't matter. You're done.
The other option was to wrap the party up.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, man. You have any parting words?
Yeah, I think you should do your own commentary track for some WrestleMania highlights as your boy from the B-52s.
All they're going to say is Bernie. I could do that.
He's climbing the ladder!
And for some reason, Kevin Owens has stolen the Stone Cold Stunner. I don't think he can quite properly apply that maneuver.
All right, I'll do that. We'll do wrestling. We'll do some wrestling commentary as Bernie post WrestleMania. All right, you good, Mike?
I'm game.
All right. Hey, thanks for joining us, guys. I do want to say this show is in the memory of the Bear Man, a broadcast professional who I worked with for 15 years at WZZO. Wonderful human being, funny motherfucker, very smart man. May he rest in peace.
Yeah.